Shalini are here, and this is New Year. Welcome to 2023. A very happy New Year to all of you. Hi Shalini, how are you doing?
Hi, Priggya. Happy 2023 to you and to all our viewers. I hope your new year is going fantastic so far.
Yeah. I believe everybody is just catching up after a break because a lot of people are on break this week as well, and they'll be joining from 9th. So it's like an extended holiday time for everybody.
Well, I hit the ground running, so I don't know about you, but today was busy, busy, busy. And I think the rest of the week is going to be that way with all the deadlines piled up.
See,
But I'm
for
happy
me,
to, and every day is the beginning of a new year. So for
yeah,
me, it makes no difference.
for me, I was out of network zone and mobile zone for 5 days, and I'm back online after 5 days, and back to the internet world after 5 days. So
Ah,
I have
did you have
I
fun?
have a lot of catching up on on my mobile phone and emails.
Should I ask how many emails and WhatsApp messages you have piled up? No. Well, let's get on with today's topic. What are we discussing today?
So today we are discussing unity of invention, which is a requirement for filing, for getting a patent granted. Not for filing, we can't say it's a filing requirement, but it is a requirement. Unless you have unity of invention fulfilled in your patent application, you'll not get a patent granted. And today we'll be discussing what is that requirement.
Very right.
Yeah.
Okay. Unity of patent, not to be confused with unitary patent,
Yeah.
as I got before this talk, before this call.
Yeah.
Okay. So, unity of invention. And I think the complication, the confusion arises because I was reading without my glasses. Okay. So, I guess you are waiting for me to make the
Yes.
opening remarks. Okay. So, unity of invention is a principle that is used by patent offices to ensure that a single patent application relates to one single invention rather than claiming multiple unrelated inventions under the same application. And this concept of unity of invention is based on the principle that a patent should clearly, I think one of the requirements specifically states that it should clearly and concisely describe the technical problem being addressed and what is the solution being proposed, which is how we build up the whole story in the background and proposed solution, rather than trying to cover a broad range of unrelated ideas. So I think that is my understanding of unity of invention.
Correct. I think you are very correct in the sense there has to be a defined problem and there has to be a defined solution. But and adding to that, in my opinion, the unity of invention requirement is also because, when we do a patent search, we need to define a scope. If we
Hmm.
have too many inventions involved in a single patent application, the patent examiner will get confused and he'll have to run multiple searches to find out what what is the prior art around this. So
Right.
to in order to tackle that, the patent office says that there has to be one invention in one patent application, because that will make the process easier for the patent offices as well.
Right.
And one reason, and another reason which I can think of and which just strike my mind is infringement. If we have too many inventions in one single patent application, it would be very difficult to prove infringement, and we
Absolutely.
want to prove infringement if we are holding an IP right.
Correct.
So I think that is another aspect of having this requirement.
I think that's a very good point you've raised. And connected to the infringement point is um, also, I would like to add the claims part. As we have discussed
Correct.
earlier, claims define the boundary If you can think of your patent application or invention as a piece of land, then your claims define your boundary that is there in your ownership deed. And in order to maintain that unity of invention, the claims also have to be linked to one another and related to a single technical problem. So if your claims are all over the place, you haven't defined the boundary of your land, of your property in a specified manner. So which comes back to infringement.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Shalini, I think we should discuss at this point, because we are speaking about there has to be one invention, one patent application, and multiple inventions should not be there. But what is the meaning of one invention and one patent application?
One invention. Okay. One invention. So there has to be, when we are talking about a typical patent application, talks about the background. We talk
Hmm.
about what is the state, what is the prior art up until now, what are the problems with the prior art, and what is the problem that our invention is providing a solution to. If there is no unity of invention, that means we are handling multiple problems. So, for example, if I have to take a very, very uh, simple example, I would say that I am talking about uh, winter apparel, let's say. Then instead of
Hmm.
saying that, I need pants, the snow pants that cover my trekking shoes, I am talking about snow pants, and I'm talking about shoes and woolen socks and thermal underwear and everything in that one thing. So the problem is what? Why do we need snow pants? Because we're going skiing or we are going trekking in the snow. And we want the pants to be able to cover, to be able to manage woolen underclothes and as well as go over the snowshoes. And if you're going trekking or you're going skiing, then you have different requirements for your shoes as well. But you don't want that one invention to talk about your shirt, pants, socks, shoes, helmet, gloves, everything. Uh, Correct?
Absolutely. And another example, I'll just give one more example because I love this device and I love giving examples of this device. So, for example, I always give this example. I have some invention related in the display of my mobile phone. Say the brightness is adjusted automatically because of the glass. That is one invention. And another invention is the battery life of my mobile phone gets extended because of some material which is used in the battery. So the material which is used in the battery is independent of what is happening in the display. So the display of the mobile phone is would be a separate patent application, and the battery would be a separate patent application, because these two things are addressing different problems. Extended battery life is not related to a clearer display. So probably in one device also there can be multiple inventions, and those multiple inventions can be should be protected separately, because maybe there is a possibility that another mobile phone manufacturers uses your battery but does not use your display,
Correct.
or uses your display and does not use your battery. So there are, from the perspective of the inventor, we need to see what exactly needs to be protected in one
Absolutely.
application.
So, what is the problem that they're trying to solve? Are they trying to solve the
Correct.
problem of the display or are they trying to solve the problem of the battery?
Correct. Absolutely.
And unity of invention, is not so much of a problem when you're trying to draft the application, but it comes up more during examination of patent applications, I think, to see whether a single invention is claimed or multiple applications are multiple, yeah, whether the application claims multiple inventions in the same. And in I think in practice, what this means from the examiner's perspective is that the patent application should clearly set out what is the technical problem, how that is being addressed, what is the solution that they're proposing with their invention. The claims are all connected and like one cohesive body rather than disparate creatures living in, in that claim section, and they should be linked to one another. The application, if one of these is not satisfied, then the application is it becomes difficult to be examined. So in this case, what is the solution for this, Prigya?
If you have multiple inventions together, so see, there are I'll say people sometimes know that they have multiple invention, but they file it intentionally as a part of single patent application to reduce cost. But in my opinion, that is not a correct way. If we know in the beginning only, it's better to draft applications which have more probability to get granted. So, in the first place, if you believe that you will be having this problem of unity of invention, then
Files.
divide your inventions in separate applications in the first stage only, and don't wait for the examiner to raise this issue. When the examiner raises this issue, there are several ways of tackling the problem. For example, one is whichever invention I think is more relevant, I can elect the claims of those that invention and reject the claims of other invention. That is one. Another the thing is I can divide my application into separate application, which is called divisional applications. So I can divide my application into separate application where each application is disclosing one inventive concept in the claims. The description can be similar, but at least in the claims, all claims should be based on a so these are the things that we can take care of.
Right. So the applicant is required to file separate applications for each invention. And like you said, this is to ensure that the claims in each application are clear and focused and pertaining to that one invention. If the applicant disagrees with this order of the patent office of the controller that requires division of application, then then hopefully they have the option to appeal the decision.
Yeah, yeah, they do. So they can do that, but I think ideally, I haven't seen many cases where the examiners have given this objection like this is irrelevant. Examiners generally study the patent application before giving this objection. So, but in my opinion, in the first stance itself, our application draft should be such that this issue should not come up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Still, sometimes people want to save cost. They want to analyze what is their invention exactly, so that they want to analyze which invention among the two inventions which they claim in the single application is more commercializable. So in that aspect, there might be a reason to file an application with multiple inventive concepts. But otherwise, in general, if we have an option, we should file separate applications.
Absolutely. No, this lack of funds, and that is why you're trying to combine all the multiple inventions in one application is it's not going to fly. I think examiners are we we cannot think that we are the smartest people on earth, right? The examiners are there for a reason, and I think we have to.
Yeah, that is okay, but I think sometimes what happens is people, especially with startups, they are in the era of growing their companies, and they know that like within 1 year they'll be able to get more investments, and when they have funds they'll be able to divide the application and give proper fee to the patent office. So maybe if that is the scenario, they are trying to arrange for funds, it might be a good options. But otherwise, if you have the funds, then from the beginning only we should take care of it.
Absolutely. So, anything else you want to add for unity of invention?
I think we have covered most of the points regarding it, and it's an interesting concept which people generally ignore, but this is something that we should not ignore, and we should try to stick to the inventive concept while drafting the claims.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So any final thoughts?
Mm. Final thoughts will end up being a recap of what we have spoken. So if you want, I'll say it for form's sake. That ensuring unity of invention is a very crucial part of the patent examination process because it helps us ensure that the scope of the protection that is being sought is well defined and easy to understand. Um, so make sure that your claims are in one application are linked to one another and form one cogent invention.
Perfect. So I think that's all. And we'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. with some interesting topic around intellectual property and patents. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone, and we'll be back next week.
Bye bye. Take care.